Hello everybody, welcome back to City Skylines, and for today's video we're going to be covering essential city services like water, electricity, garbage, and police and all that fun stuff. You may notice that the video resolution is a bit lower. That's because I was experimenting with different video file formats, and Premiere Pro didn't like one of them, and I had to render the video with a different program, but it shouldn't be too much of a difference. All I'm doing right now, as you can see, placing down a few different buildings like pumps, some water treatment centers, and some heating services from Snowfall. So the vanilla game comes with a few buildings. There's the water pump, which is just fine. There's a sewage pipe, which just dumps everything into the body of water of your choice. The water treatment center, which is the same thing except gets rid of all pollution, and I'm pretty sure it has a higher capacity. And then of course there's this giant water pump from the Steam Workshop, which I really do recommend you get. It's really helpful, and it does have a really large pumping capacity. In the back you can see here I placed down a few different buildings like these water treatment buildings by Ronix. They're really great, and I really recommend you check out some more of his assets. He's a great model maker. Then of course there's some other buildings over there that I found in the workshop. So what we're going to do right now is just to start off our whole water service, we're going to place down a few pipes, and what I like to do, it's really just a personal preference, you don't have to do this, is place down the bigger pipes, like the ones that come with heating, on my main roads, my bigger roads. Just to me it makes more sense because a bigger road usually would probably have bigger pipes, and also the heating pipes that I placed down have a higher range, so that's really convenient. And as you saw, another advantage to having a grid layout for your roads is that your pipes, you can make your water layout really simple, and it's really easy. So now all that I'm doing is creating this kind of base framework for my my whole service center, I guess you could call it. Really nothing too fancy, just a couple of main roads. It's really, like I said, just a frame. So the vanilla game actually has some great sources of energy. For example, this tide generator or wave generator that comes with the Green Cities DLC. It's really nice, and it looks nice, and it does provide you with energy. One that I also like is the advanced turbine. It comes with just the vanilla game itself, and it looks fine, and it does give you a really steady source of energy. I'd really recommend to use these if you're a new player or if you're just looking to play a casual game, because what I'm about to do is completely unnecessary. What I'm doing is I'm going to be making my own nuclear power plant with the help of Ronix's dual nuclear power plant assets. They're honestly one of the best assets in terms of electricity out there on the workshop. And yeah, they just come in modules, and I'm just putting them together, creating a bit of a road layout. Completely unnecessary again, but I don't know, I like it. And that's actually another thing. If you don't like something, don't do it. Honestly, it's a game. Do something that you like. Don't do something just because you need more money, in-game money. Turn on your higher budget and just do what you want, alright? So now to actually create a framework, to extend, I guess, our framework for the water service, I'm just going to place down a few canals so our pumps have access to water, because in my opinion just placing them on the shore is a bit ugly, and they snap really nicely to canals. Like I said earlier, I'm using these large water pumps from the workshop, really high capacity, and 4 of them I'm pretty sure is more than enough for my entire city. Then all I'm doing is placing down these aeration basins, again by Ronix. Really love him, go check him out. And then the next thing I'm going to do here is just connect everything with water pipes, because that's how the water system works, I guess. And yeah, and then we get to the garbage. So I'm just gonna place one of these like right there. I'll move it later, you'll see, but this was just, you know, for the moment, just to make sure everything had garbage. This is the recycling center. You can find it on the workshop. It's really nice. It's a bit of an older asset, but for me, I've always liked it. It's very neutral in terms of style, which can be really helpful. And then, yeah, here I moved it. I placed 2 of them. and I'm just gonna put a little alleyway in between them because I have enough space for one, and it makes sense to have an alley. Also, in terms of service radius, if you're on infinite budget, I do recommend you set as the highest budget you can for your services, because that's it really does expand your radius for services. It's really helpful. The next thing I'm going to do here, which I'm pretty sure came with natural disasters, is place this fresh water outlet down. For me, it's really handy because I have this kind of redundant canal just sitting there, and sometimes it's just useful to pump out excess water, especially since I have the pumps there that use a lot of water. Now all I did is just set down some heating services and then expand my pipes to connect to my pipes in the city. And then just using this small road, I just connect that corner I had there to a main road, because I'm gonna have some offices over there in a second. So if you're like me and you think that the vanilla power lines are a bit of an eyesore, I do recommend you go in the Steam Workshop and download these underground power line assets. They're really convenient, and they're, in my opinion, so much simpler than actually installing power lines. And now all I'm doing is I'm just placing down this recycling center in my city. I had a perfect spot for it, so might as well. And now just a bit of detailing. We'll probably do an entire episode on it separately, because that's a whole nother thing in and of itself. I'm just placing down the offices here, like I said, and we'll get on to some other services, like this helicopter pad, which in my opinion is a bit realistic. It's pretty realistic considering this is a nuclear power plant and you don't want anything to catch on fire. Then what I do here is place down a police station, fire station, and this little clinic, and then these are all by Senfork, or Senforken, something like that. And what I do later is I use Move It to put them all together into this kind of service center. I really like them. They look like really modern, and when you move them together with Move It, it just looks natural. It does look like a real service center. So yeah. I do the same thing here in downtown, except I use a bigger hospital. And yeah, like I said, you just see me here with Move It, kind of putting it all together. Another service that I personally tend to forget about is the crematorium, cemetery, just death services in general. There's this really nice crematorium asset on the workshop, as if I haven't mentioned it enough today. It's, if you have a proper placer, or prop it up, I'm pretty sure it's called, it's really simple to just remove the default trees with something like, and replace them with something like the live oak tree, and it makes it less noticeable and much nicer. So for this next part, I'm probably just not going to talk as much, because it's not really important. It's just really just a whole bunch of trees and grass being placed down. Really just detailing. And like I said, we'll do another episode on it some other time, because it's not that important, but it really does spruce up your city. And so we're done. Now we have pretty much all of our infrastructure done for our city. It's that simple. If you like this video, don't forget to leave a like and leave a comment down below to let me know what exactly you liked about the video. If you'd like to see more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe. I am trying to do them weekly. And yeah, bye.